My business story is long. It goes way back. That's why the success seen now, but actually is a long journey for me. When I was little child, going elementary school, middle school, high school, always after school, we were going to help our father's small merchant business. We were helping him, so I got used to the trading side when I was 8-10 years old, helping him, and then keep building on it. And after my university graduation, I always wanted to learn English, because my English was not enough to do my career in engineering and also the business life. I decided to go to United States. So after my master's degree, when I stayed in US longer, my parents forced me to come to Turkey. So I had to make a decision, either going back to Turkey or stay in US. I choose the temporary stay, so satisfy the both, make the family happy that I will come back, but also I will make myself as just a professional engineer some years, so I get the satisfaction. During my all study time at the university from 1985 to 88, I studied during my master's degree, and part of my early one-year PhD is I studied computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing, and optimization, control systems, artificial intelligence, expert system, robotics, all the high-tech things. After stopped studying at the university, I went to the industry in California, worked with the Paseco Corporation, with the Mitsui Group, designing the container handling cranes. So I was serving as a design engineer, later the project engineer, and I get one patent during my study. The work at the Paseco Corporation, crane modification we did. I spent 3 years very hard work on the structural engineering, finite element stuff, and we served to the customers at the Long Beach and Los Angeles and Port of San Francisco, Port of Oakland, Port of Seattle, Port of Tacoma, all the west coast of United States. But 1993, I decided to go back to Turkey after working 5 years. And when I was going back to Turkey, I was in the mixed feelings, because my parents wants me to go work in the family business, which is basically trading, and I will not use my engineering. So when I was returning, I only know that one thing, I will not do engineering, but I didn't know what I will do for my rest of my career. After looking to the Turkish industry and economy, my first year, what to do, and I decided to do the foreign trade and the marketing. I was going every month to Russia, Ukraine mainly, and getting some commodities and trading them. That's how my business life really started, shifting from engineering to commodity trader. But my education and the 5 years business experience give me a unique decision making, because in the artificial intelligence and the expert system, I learned many reasoning and reaching to solutions, making designing the decision making trees, and how to make the decisions. And then the classes I took, the optimization was all minimizing, maximizing. Today I'm doing that in our business life, to maximize profit, minimize the cost, and maximize the the growths and all these things. So you have more than one variable to solve. It's like differential equations, many variables same time, and you have to satisfy all of them. What I do those in my business life, in order to make healthy decisions, I use all these experiences, and it gives me a very successful decision making. And also what I learned from Japanese managers, that they were very committed to the deadlines and very detail oriented, and always making the schedule and live with these schedules, and on time meaning for them is very crucial. So when I came to Turkey, in Turkey I couldn't apply this Japanese management system or US system. So I took the good part of the Japanese management, American management, mixed with the Turkish culture, and applied to in our business. So I started a brand new division in the family, was the foreign trade, and I was doing a lot of purchasing of the commodities like coal, coke, fertilizer, grain, scrap, metals, all kind of things. I was trying to do chartering the ships, and then I learned the trade financing. So all these things I never done during my school life. I never took any business classes, and I work as an engineer. So I changed everything. I self-educated myself. So reading a lot of books. Every time I was traveling outside of Turkey, going to the bookstores, getting books related to my business, for future business, and I was self-educating myself. I started this business one man in Istanbul 1997. Today we are nearly 300 people in my office in Istanbul. The number can be double, tripled, but what I learned in the Japanese system, that you first create a job and then you go hire the person. In American system, first you see the markets are good, they hire the people, and when the market goes down, they fire the people. So I don't do the firing, but I do the hiring only for the job. So, and make sure that in my management, all the managers and the C-level people create jobs for their people in their team, so that everyone is busy. So that management style worked very well under my fast decision making, and being in the right time, meeting the right people, because I tried to be different than others. So every time I was going to Russia and try to have social life with them, not only business life. So having drinks, yes, going to sauna, yes, and wining, dining, all these things. And you became insider rather than outsider. So this is very important in certain countries. In the Western world and US, you don't need to do this, but in those countries, especially 90s, you needed to do. So all these things put me 1 or 2 steps ahead of my competitors. And then they making very good business plans, executing them, fulfilling the contract, making the payments on time, and working with the banks, putting them a good business plan and execute and make all the payments. So the banks start supporting all my projects, all my trade activities. So this continues until 2003. So from 1997 to 2003, 6 years, worked very well, and then I made quite good money with my brothers. And then the 2003, after the Turkish crisis, government decided to make privatization. So we participated in the privatization, and we bought the Etichrome, which produced the chrome ore and ferrochrome in Turkey, but it was bankrupt, and the company was like $120 million in loss. And then we bought the fertilizer company, was also in minus. So we turned around these companies, and we made our own business model, and those businesses successfully start producing good results for us and for the banks. So that gives us more confidence that we can go and get some of the companies are in the trouble or they are distress. We can just go buy and then bring our business plan and move them into the positive side. So turnaround stories, one after another. And then the 2008 we made our first acquisition in Sweden, buying our competition, and then transferring all the know-how from Sweden to Turkey, and also sending our Turkish engineers, technicians to the Sweden, working with them and seeing the better productions and engineering. And then we transfer some of these technology to keep the standardizations in Turkey. And then also we bring our Swedish workers to our facilities in Turkey and learn some of the logistics side that we were doing much better than there. So we started making integration, and then we make the standardization in our acquisition. And when this bring positive results to this company, it gives us a big self-confidence that we need to go further for the international business. So from 2008, our group is investing outside of Turkey. Today, 60% of our businesses are outside of Turkey, and also the 60% of the earnings comes from outside. So we became, from a Turkish company, a global company, but Turkish identity. How we did all these things today, we have more than 150 companies in the group of companies, different fields. We have 11 sectors in the group and managing them. So I hire the right people and give them the certain power decision making, and working close to them on the decision making, make sure that they don't wait for the ownership or the owner's decisions or the board members' decision. I apply the open door policy and very much flat organizations. So all these things help us in the growth and also the decision making. So when we combine this, our growth and sustainable, especially growth in the business, was inevitable. And we made monies, and then we see that we need to make some the payback to the communities for the environment. So our group under the Yildirim holding, we made a very good like the social responsibility projects. We established a foundation under my mother's and father's name, and then we do a lot of donations for mainly educations and environmental things. We support the cultural events in the many countries is where we invested. All these things at the end comes with the secret. What is that secret? Success. What's the secret of our success? I can say one is the working, but harder and smarter. Many people work hard, but you need to be smarter. So that's what we did. And then we do the good risk analysis. So that we are doing a lot of studies, feasibilities. So we are not making any investment just for the name. If there is no synergy in the new investment, if there is no upside for us or some sort of advantages, we don't do it. So we are doing all these things with the plant. Okay, so I can count many other things, but all I can say is we have our own business plans. We are doing this business in the very competitive environment, especially in the global arena, and people are trying to understand our business strategy. By the time they understand, we change. So we are all doing these things in our Istanbul head office with our team. So there is a teamwork behind, but hours of work, dedicated people, and as I said, I'm personally going and seeing the initial stage before we make any investment. I still go see our customers, and I go see all our investors or bankers. So everything that we do, I make sure that I see and understand. If I don't understand, I don't let my guys to do something. So we are very plain. We are lean company, but we are inside sophisticated. So that's all I can say for our building this successful group and the studies and the success behind the secret of success behind the Yildirim Group. It basically the growth. Because in Turkey we couldn't grow. We are the biggest producer of, for example, chrome and ferrochrome. So I wanted to be in the ranking and in the market making, in the one of the major players. So from Turkey I couldn't grow. So I looked to the competition and I made approach. So we bought the Sweden company, later a Russian company, Kazakh company, and then we generated number 4 company in the ranking in the chrome industry. And we did the same thing in the port. So I can grow up to certain level, then the anti-competition board or antitrust stops you. So you cannot grow and become a monopolist. I have to grow, so the growth goes outside, and also as I said, I got my education and the work experience in United States and working with the international people. I have this confidence. So every time I travel, for me it's like home. Wherever I go, today we are in Mexico. I look out outside. It's for me no difference. I go US, same. I go Europe or go China, Africa. So I'm very easy to get adapted to those countries. Good question, because every penny, every dime we spend for our companies should have a reason, okay? Because we are watched by the banks. So every year we make our budgets, we submit to the banks, and we have to fulfill those. And then we have a CAPEX programs. So all the CAPEX are basically done on the needs, meaning a replacement and maintenance, and also the replacing the some of the technologies. So the in the industry we are not in the high-tech side. We are in the low or medium tech companies. So, for example, mining, where we cannot talk the rocket science things. Okay, so but yes, we by the new technological equipments, they put a lot of communication features in the machines that, you know, the producer can just check the equipment from the very far from their facilities to see the equipment is used well, and the GPS are, you know, sending all data, all the maintenance things. You always look at the technology, who has the better technology in the similar equipment can give me advantage over to my competition and cut my cost and production cost, or makes product with some better unique specifications, so that I can sell it with the premiums over the competition. In the ports, we do the same thing. We have terminal operating system. Always we are upgrading, and we are having paperless gate automation, and you need to upgrade certain years because of the speed is becoming important. So you upgrade. We follow the technology very closely, but doesn't mean that you follow everything comes new, you jump and you buy. So you wait and you see the delivered result. And once it's proven in the industry, then we definitely go and try. So we cannot live without new technology for future. We know we need to be in the modern life with the new technologies. Otherwise, you will be like dinosaur, getting obsolete, and competition will kill you. So you asked political questions, so I have to be political. Yes, when I was small, okay, my jobs or my business was not related to government policies. But once I became big and I became the industrial company, then almost all of my businesses are attached to the government policies in every country. So if I'm going to make a new mining invest, so I need to get licenses, and that meaning is you have to go through this process, and it's very hard in every country to get the new license to start the new mining. And same thing to expansion, same thing for ports, whatever we do, energy, for fertilizer, you know, for agricultural purpose. So when all your business becoming controlled by the government policies and bureaucracy, and things gets different, life gets harder, and we have to be friendly with the governments. Okay, what we do is we never had before. Now we have the government relations and department, and they're following all the rules and regulation, and the laws are changing all the time. So they're following in every countries where we have the investments and business, and they're of course sometimes following the lobbies when the government will make the new laws for this, and we have to participate in this lawmakers' decisions, and as I said, life change after you become big. Definitely you involve in the politics. Government helps me for the getting license and all these things, and they have to. I mean, otherwise you don't generate new businesses, countries do not grow, and you don't employ the people. So eventually they do, but they are not so nice. I mean, do immediately. And are they against us? Sometimes yes, they're against us. And some of the projects are, we need to go tell the public, or these some of the groups, that associations or the foundations are, this community, social groups needs to be informed. If they don't understand, and then the newspaper, media writes something, and then they react. We are spending a lot of time and money on that side now. We are not getting any subsidies from governments in any of our places. We are good taxpayer, and we are expanding, and they like us in every country we work, and they keep us in there, even get bigger. But on the other hand, problems raise, and they try to help you, but they don't do it. So it takes time to solve these things. It is normal. I mean, if we were the only company facing this, I would say something wrong, but I hear from a lot of people in a lot of countries, typical bureaucracy. Bureaucracy doesn't like capitalism and the investments. Yes, we work with the governments in every country closely, friendly and supportive, and at the end we are partner because we pay tax. They're our partner receiving the profit. Yes. Part of it depends, of course. We probably spent around up to 3 to 5%. Used to be 10-20%, but we became so big, so the the number percentage went down, but we don't cut from the amount the company grows. So we are making something around $10 to $20 million, for this social responsibility and environmental things. Even for the for business-related environmental things, you have to do all the time. It's more than that. It's altogether globally is maybe 50 million, $100 million, but we put that in our capex. Okay, so we don't discriminate it as like environmental things and you throw the money. No, this is part of your business. So, but besides this, what we do for the society where we live and the communities, help their health, education, and some of the cultural things, we are counting that as up to 5% of our earnings goes there. I can honestly say that I was very much honored and surprised. It made me very happy, especially as I said last night when I was receiving the award. About 11 days ago, I lost my brother. He is 3 years younger than me, so I was morally, mentally down. But life continues, so I came here to continue my normal business life. But this award took the part of the pains from me, give me a motivation, happiness, and meeting last night a lot of academicians and sitting with them. It was like 30 years ago when I was a student, I was doing this. So it was a nostalgia for me, going back to those days. And also I was honored with the then Shechtman, he was sitting next to me. We had a very good conversation. We exchanged informations and some of the things, what he was doing for the world and what I was doing. And we think that we should meet each other in somewhere, make sure that we do something good for the next generations. So this award I accepted on behalf of my 12,000 people because they're supporting me to get to this point, okay? And I'm doing a lot of things for them too. And this gives me more motivation. Now that means I have to make better in order to keep this award, because my success should be sustainable, not just for the 5 years, 10 years. I can say from today, my motivation goes for further, and I make my outlook forecast in the business, always thinking this award to make sure that I will be more successful, and especially you will not be regretted one day we made a mistake. So you will always say that, well, look at the Robert, we made the right decisions giving him that time, and then look where he is today. So you will, yeah. So I'm honored again, and thank you very much. And this is what the motivation for me. I mean, I have big money, but money is for me is a tool, do my business and stuff. I don't use the money for my living, okay? I use for work. So, but for me to keep going in the business, this type of recognitions, awards are like a doping for me. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you, and I wish you all the success.
Thank you very much to Florian. I'm very happy to be here with you, and good luck to you for the good conferences, successful one. I know next year you are going beautiful place, Copacabana, Rio de Janeiro. I hope, yes, and I hope that my schedule allows me to attend there. So if it is, I will be there. Okay. So thank you again.